If you're thinking of heading up to the Petoskey area this summer, don't ask us for one reason to visit. 'Cause we'll give you dozens, at least. What else would you expect from the land of more? Visit PetoskeyArea.com to start planning.
Before Sarah discovered ChumbaCasino.com, she enjoyed chamomile tea.
Come on, big jackpot.
And being in PJs by 6.
Let's go.
The new fun Sarah
Woohoo!
often thinks about the old boring Sarah.
Yes.
And wonders if that Sarah ever really existed.
Chumba Casino has over 100 casino-style games. So join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Who the fuck is John Ochterlony?
This is Beer in Front, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. I'll talk about some old school beers that maybe you've forgotten about, some new beers that have the potential to be a classic. I'll also talk to various people around the beer world and get their stories all about beer. That's Beer in Front, and it's coming up now.
Welcome to episode 176, the September 4th edition of BIF. I'm your host, John Ochterlony, and BIF is a proud member of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Thanks to AI Michelle from the Infectious Groove podcast for the read. You're saying to yourself, who the hell is John Ochterlony? Stay tuned to the end, and I'll have a special Jag-Off of the Week segment buried after the closing music, like a tease from an upcoming Marvel movie.
All right, thank you to AI Michelle from Infectious Groove Music. You could check out their podcast Mondays over on your favorite podcast platform, and also the AI voice of a famous actor who shall go nameless. If you want to learn more about what I'm upset about, you could stay tuned to the very end. Some people don't like the Jag-Off segment. That's why I really don't do it much anymore, but this will be at the end, like after the music. So if you want to hear it, stay tuned after the music at the end of the show. So welcome to Beer in Front. I'm your host, Dave Zalatoris, and Beer in Front is a proud member of the Odd Pods Media Network. This week, I'm having Oktoberfest beers. I'm going to do one from Hofbräu in Munich and 2 local Chicago ones here. I love this time of year. Big fan of the Oktoberfest style, whether it's Fest beer or Marzen. Both are really good. So this time of year when everyone's putting out an Oktoberfest beer, it's great. So stay tuned a little bit later. I'm going to have 3 beers in front for you. My back still hurts. Went to the doctor on Wednesday, and he did a little poking and prodding, and it still hurt. So he was like, yeah, there's no way you're going back to lifting heavy suitcases. So he gave me another week off, upped my dosage of the muscle relaxer, and put me on some steroids. So I don't know if there's a podcasting Hall of Fame. I don't know if I'm going to be eligible because I'm now on the juice, but I'm taking steroids and muscle relaxers for another week, and hopefully this gets better really soon. Need to give a big thank you to my neighbor, Greg. Greg took the paddleboard off my hands, so I will not be attempting to paddleboard down the Chicago River. So thank you to Greg for taking this paddleboard off of my hands. In beer news, Brooklyn Brewery, they're going to honor one of New York City's greatest hip-hop artists with a special can from Notorious B.I.G. They're doing this on their iconic Brooklyn lager, so look for that in the New York area soon. I've talked before about the blurring of the lines between non-alcoholic and new products that have alcohol in them. But now White Claw's doing it in reverse. They're coming out with a 0 alcohol seltzer that has 4 different flavors at only 15 calories per can. So I guess you could get a 0 alcohol White Claw near you. Read over on AmericanCraftBeer.com that White Shield IPA, which I guess is legendary in the United Kingdom, they're owned by Molson Coors and they're retiring it. So you will not be able to find the White Shield IPA from Worthington's in bottles anymore. According to the article, it'll still be available on tap at certain locations, but there's a huge uproar over in England over the discontinuing of Worthington's White Shield. Firestone Walker announced some of their plans for 2024 and beyond, and they're really going to start pushing the 805 brand and the 805 Cerveza. And what they want to do with their Cerveza, I think, is interesting. They're going to move it to clear bottles instead of the amber brown bottles. And according to them, their research shows that more than 70% of the consumers out there preferred the clear bottle to amber bottles when it comes to drinking that style of beer, and it improved their purchase intent by 4 times, according to Firestone Walker. So that's interesting. If you're a fan of the 805 Cerveza, look for that in a clear bottle coming up in 2024. Sad news locally here in Illinois. Oswego Brewing Company, they're going to close their doors for good. I think they closed it actually last weekend. They opened 5 years ago. They had their top beer was a beer called Haze for Horses. It was a New England IPA. They just didn't recover from COVID, according to the article in the Tribune. The owners didn't blame COVID, but according to the article, it was a good article, they had to take out loans. And even when business came back, it still wasn't exactly where it was pre-COVID. And you got to pay the bill, so they were just unable to do it. So sad news from Illinois, where Oswego Brewing Company is shut down. A lot of breweries are having their Oktoberfest parties, and it's hard to keep track of who's doing what. But one of my favorites, and one that I go to every year, it's a joint effort between Beguile and Dovetail. This is their Oktoberfestiversary that's located in between the 2 breweries. If you're familiar with the area, they're less than a block away. So the alleyway area in between, there's plenty of room for food truck, music, beer, bratwurst. So definitely on the weekend of October 7th and 8th, you need to head over to Beguile and Dovetail for the Oktoberfestiversary party. Finally, I read over on Porch Drinking, a brewery in Colorado called Cerebral Brewing. They're making a barrel-aged with not your typical barrels. They're making this with 15-year Pappy barrels. Now, they only have 2, so there's not going to be a lot of this beer out. And if it's anything like Pappy, I'm sure this thing's going to go for a left arm, and it's going to be super rare to get. But if you're in Colorado and you see something from Cerebral, you definitely have to try this with Pappy barrels. That's got to be outstanding.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey, this is Grab and Brisket Podcast. Join us every Monday where we talk about the latest trends in barbecue, interviews with world top pitmasters, celebrity cooks.
Ooh, like Wee Man from Jackass.
And musicians.
Like Rich O'Toole.
So check us out. We do beer reviews, barbecue fails.
So many fires.
Dude, a lot of people just burn their houses down for no reason.
We also talk about cocaine hippos versus meth gators.
Learn how to make some tailgate gravy.
Altercations with Texas Rangers.
People throwing Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yeah. So check out grabthebrisket.com for podcast info, viral social media posts, and so much more.
Oktoberfest runs this year from the 16th of September to October 3rd. This is the 188th edition in Munich. The first one was actually a horse race and a wedding reception back in 1810. I don't know about you, but I think I kind of missed out by not having a horse race at my wedding reception. They know how to do things right over in Munich. There are Oktoberfest celebrations all over the world. A lot of breweries put one out. I know Revolution does a good one. There's a new one this year with the Brewers Triangle over close to me, so definitely check that out. But from what I was reading, and I remember talking to Rod J., I think last year or a couple years ago, the one that they have in Cincinnati, if I remember correctly, that's the largest Oktoberfest celebration in the United States. There are two totally different styles of Oktoberfest beers out there, and some might be confused because they're, like I said, they're really different. The first is a fest beer, which is the style you would have in Munich. It's a light golden color, has low to medium malt and hop flavor. These check in between 5.8 and 6.3% alcohol. The second is usually the Marzen style, which is probably what we think of here in the States when we think of an Oktoberfest. Marzen is a much darker colored beer, and it has more of a malt aroma and taste than the fest beer. The Marzen is about the same in alcohol, between 5.8 and 6.3. Both are excellent in my opinion. I don't think you could go wrong with either. And I'm going to have a beer in each style a little bit later on. Let's get back to this horse race. I know, like here, you do the dollar dance, you play the hokey pokey, and what's that other song? The chicken dance. That's big at wedding receptions here, which I made sure it was not played at mine. But the horse race, I need to renew my vows. Ruby, if you listen to this episode, we need to renew our vows and get some horses. All right, the beer in front of me this week is Hofbräu's Oktoberfest. Hofbräu Munich was founded, get this, in 1589. So this qualifies as an old school classic. Their Oktoberfest is a full-bodied lager beer with, according to them, now I'm going to read this from their website, with its fine, hoppy aroma, it's perfect alongside a classic Oktoberfest roasted chicken. Can we circle back to this chicken? I've never had an Oktoberfest roasted chicken, but now I'm curious and I need to find me one of these. Hofbräu's Oktoberfest is a 6.3% alcohol by volume beer, checks in with 23 IBUs. Over on Rate Beer, this is scored an 81 on a 1 to 100 scale, and on Untapped, it's 3.56 bottle caps. They use newer hops like Magnum. Now, Magnum didn't come out until I think 1980, and Hercules, which has only been around since 2005. So this beer here from Hofbräu, it's not what you were going to have at a beer hall in Munich 50 years ago, but it's still a really good beer. I do pick this up every year when I see it because I think it's a classic style and a classic version of the style. And Hofbräu is one of the 6 breweries that has the beer at Oktoberfest. So this is one I definitely pick up, but let's stop talking about it and let's crack this open. Oh, the Hofbräu Oktoberfest is a really nice, light golden color, probably a little bit darker than your usual macro beer, but not a lot. Really nice, clear color, good foam, good 2 fingers of foam on this. Smells really nice. I get subtle hints of the malt on here, maybe a little of the hops as well. That's just really good. Nice flavors here. I get a little malt and a little of the hops. And it's weird because this is in a brown bottle, and I'm going to have to take another sip. I thought I caught a little skunkiness, but I don't think that's true. That just had to be me. But let me try this again. No, that wasn't it. I get the nice malt flavor here. That's the first thing that hits me. Nice sweetness, a little bitterness from the hops to balance it out. Once again, this is the Fest beer instead of the Marzen. And there's only 6 breweries that are making beer for Oktoberfest in Munich, and Hofbräu is one of them. So this is good. If you see it, by all means, you got to throw it in the cart. It's Oktoberfest. So grab yourself a Hofbräu Oktoberfest beer. All right, one of the local Oktoberfests that I'm going to have is courtesy of Half Acre. This is Lagertown. Lagertown is 5.8%. According to the website, this is an Oktoberfest that lives in the malty bosom of Munich's storied tradition. All right, well, they sold me, so let's crack open Lagertown. Lagertown is more of the Marzen style than the Fest beer. This is darker, kind of looks like a Vienna lager. So if you're not a beer geek, if you've had a Sam Adams Boston lager, the color is similar to that. Good foam, good carbonation here. Smells really nice. I get a lot of the malt up front with the aroma. I think it smells fantastic. Yeah, that's really, really good. Nice malt flavor here. Doesn't list the amount of hops they use, but it's an Oktoberfest. It's not a hoppy beer, but it's well balanced. I get a little bit of bitterness, not a lot, but it's a well balanced beer. Yeah, it's delicious. There's no other way around it. It's delicious. If you see this in the Chicago area, definitely put it in the cart. Chicago has a ton of great breweries knocking Oktoberfest out of the park. Half Acre's Lagertown is always at the top of my list. It's one of my favorites, one I have to pick up every year when it comes out. Usually comes out late July, maybe early August. So definitely if you see it, it's not going to be around much longer. Put Lagertown in the cart from Half Acre. Okay, the last of the Oktoberfest beers that I'm going to have this week on the show is Fest beer. This is from Roaring Table out of Lake Zurich. I love everything they do. This is 5.4% alcohol. The can looks great. It has that nice checkerboard Oktoberfest like tablecloth feel to it. It looks great. This has Magnum and Mittelfrüh hops in here. This is, I'm reading the can here, it's inspired by the modern lager served every September. This pale beer is crisp, clean, and designed to be enjoyed by the leader. Well, you only have it in a 16-ounce can, so I'm just going to crack open the 16-ounce can of Fest beer from Roaring Table. Oh, yeah, that's a Fest beer. Nice golden color to it. Good foam. The smell is really good. I get more of the hops here, I think, than I do from the malt out of the aroma, but it smells fantastic. Oh, yeah. Put this one in the cart. This is just really good. It's very clean. It's crisp, refreshing. I like the noble hop bitterness that I get at the end. Everything about this, I'm digging. Yeah, that's really good. Roaring Table, I need to get out to Lake Zurich. I need to find it first. I have to Google Maps or pull up MapQuest or something like back in the day to find my way out to Lake Zurich, because everything that I've had from them has been phenomenal. I pick it up at my bottle shop here, Bottles and Cans. I don't know if I've seen it at like Binny's or places like that, but if you see anything from Roaring Table, by all means, put it in the cart. I did a YouTube video on a IPA they did, so look for that. I did what it's called All American Burger. I remember that one being spectacular, but no, this Fest beer is just killer. Put it in the cart. Fest beer from Roaring Table is a winner. All right, that's going to wrap things up for the Oktoberfest edition of Beer in Front. I thank you very much for listening. If you need to get a hold of me, you could email me, dave@beerinfront.com, or on all the social media channels at Beer in Front. Couple things real quick before I say goodbye. One, if you want to hear the Jag-Off segment, wait until the end. If you don't, when the music stops, you can go on to your next favorite show. I have an old microphone. If you want to get into podcasting and make like the billions of dollars that all of us do, you can. If you want to start podcasting, I have an older mic. It's a USB mic that you would just plug into your computer. It's great. It works great. I have a better microphone now. But if you're starting out and you need a microphone, I can help you out there. So if you're interested, you know where to get a hold of me. All right, everyone, have a great week. I will talk to you next week on Beer in Front. And remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet. All right, I teased it, or the AI voice teased it in the open. Here is your Jag-Offs of the Week. I have two. First, and they're both AI related. There's no human beings behind this. It's some artificial intelligence bullshit. But the first is Good Pods. Good Pods is very good to the independent podcaster. I get a lot of listens on Good Pods. Up until last week, I didn't really have a problem with Good Pods. But over on the Odd Pods Media and Family's private Discord server, someone noticed that they were putting some AI show descriptions on a lot of podcasts. So I had to look. And I'm going to read this verbatim. So this is what the AI machine decided that they want to put out. Good Pods discovers Beer in Front. Beer in Front is an engaging and informative podcast that celebrates the world of craft beer. Get this, hosted by passionate beer enthusiast John Octorloni. This podcast provides a platform for discussing various beer styles, breweries, homebrewing tips, and everything else related to this beloved beverage. And it goes on and on. No human being wrote this, but John Octorloni, where in the hell did you come up with that? I guess enough people complained. They sent me and a couple other people a private message. Oh, the AI goofed and they took everything down. But John Octorloni? Good Pods. You're a jag-off. The other one. Now, you remember last week when I had the shower beer, which I'll probably never do an episode on that again because I think it ran its course where no one listened last week. No one. There is very few listeners last week. So the shower beer segment will probably be retired. But I had a thing on there, if you were one of the 4 people that listened, about post a picture, a family-friendly picture over on social media, including the hashtag Beer in Front shower beer. Well, I go to look and see if any of you knuckleheads did this. And on Instagram, they said that hashtag Beer in Front shower beer violated community standards. Now, the only pictures that I posted, I had from shoulder up because no one wants to see any lower than that. And it was just on a promotion for the podcast. So there were no pics, but there was one that I cannot see. So whoever you are, Instagram blocked this because of some community standard. So Instagram, you are a bunch of jagoffs.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Este Labor Day en The Home Depot, encuentra ahorros por toda la tienda, como un kit de 2 herramientas de 18 voltios Ryobi One Plus a un nuevo precio más bajo de $99. Aprovecha el fin de semana largo y dale más potencia a tus proyectos. Con el sistema de batería One Plus, que funciona en más de 280 productos Ryobi One Plus. Haz tu labor de amor y llévate un kit de 2 herramientas de 18 voltios Ryobi One Plus a $99. The Home Depot. Haces más,